So what we're going to be going over today, folks, is our 9-step process. What is that 9-step process? It's the process that we go through from going from basically being clueless of who to reach out to, what to say, how to say it, to being able to take commercial listings over and over again. So everybody, do me a favor, light up that chat with a big exclamation point if you guys want to learn how to take commercial listings over and over and over again. Let's see what you got here. Show me what you got. Come on. Looks like, what do we got here? Let's see more. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Jason's in, Chris is in, Natalie's in, Mark's in. Love it. Okay. And then we've got Springfield, Mass. We've got Williamsburg, Virginia. Okay, cool. Where else are you guys coming in from? We got people from coast to coast. Show me what market you're coming in, guys, from. All right. Hey, Nick, Miami, Florida. What's up? Shout out to one of our newest students. Well, good to see you, buddy. Awesome. Okay. So, folks, what we're going to be going over today is a process. What is the strength of a process? A process is something that allows us to do the same thing over and over again. And unlike Einstein, who said if the definition of what insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, conversely, this allows us to do the same thing over and over again and get the same results, right? How many of you guys would like a little bit more predictability in your business? Type predictable in the chat if you'd like your business to be a bit more predictable next year than it is this year, right? Here we are, right? We're like in the fourth quarter, November is right around the corner. I can almost smell the turkey from Turkey Day, right, guys? Believe it or not, we are 4 weeks from Thanksgiving. So we are scratching at the end of the year. Anything you do from now to the end of the year is going to count for 2024. So it looks like Mark wants some predictability. Tim wants some predictability. Jay wants predictability. Chris, yeah, that's what we're talking about, guys. Okay. So the question is, what do we need to do in order to get that predictability? So guys, cameras on. As long as you're not driving, cameras on. Let me see all those beautiful faces because I want to see the head nods. I want to give the thumbs up. I want to see a little bit of horns. I don't know, whatever it means, so I can see that you guys are interacting, making sure this is landing. Because what's most important about our process is that you guys understand it. Doug's with me. Ethan's with me. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure you guys are understanding the process. Okay. If you understand the process, you can execute the process. And if you can execute the process, you can get predictability in your business. Okay. So let me go ahead and pop on the today's presentation and we'll be ready to rock. All right. So let me go ahead and share this. Now, this, guys, is fresh off the press. I just revamped it a little bit, made it a little bit more explanatory, and I can't wait to share it with you guys because at the end of the day, folks, it does me no good to sit here and hang on to these secrets, right? The stuff that's allowing brand new agents like Nick Vasiloff in Orlando to come in, start dialing in July, and in 90 days have 5 exclusive listings. Guys, how many of you would like to come in and by the 23rd of January have 5 commercial listings? Type a 5 in the chat, guys, as I'm pulling up this slideshow. See, let me see who wants it the worst, right? The one that's the quickest on the draw. Type of 5 in the chat for me, folks. Because what it comes down to, folks, is like this business works, but you have to work this business. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. So what it comes down to, folks, think of it. If for those of you that used to play board games as kids, right? I was like an 80s kid, right? We used to play board games like Chutes and Ladders and Candyland and Life and all that good stuff. And think of this process as kind of like a board game, right? You start at the bottom here. All right. Let me just go ahead and move this out of the way here. Okay. You start at the bottom and then hang on one second. Whoops. Hang on. Wrong one. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay. You start at the bottom and you follow it around. Okay. All the way through. Okay. So let me go ahead and put this here. Boom. There we go. Sweet. Okay. So what you do is you come through here and you start here. This process is laid out into 3 different phases. Phase 1 is ready. Guys, type ready in the chat if you're ready to start a new approach to your business. Okay. What this allows us to do is go from overlooking potential in your business, okay, to becoming a meeting maker, which means you know who to reach out to, what to say, you know exactly how to deal with objections on the phone, and you know how to make meetings, listing meetings, not I'm going to drop off my card, not let me put a face to the name. It's I'm coming to Mr. Smith's building to talk to him or her about the sale of the building, okay? Type meeting in the chat if you guys want to learn how to book meetings on an ongoing basis, okay? Because what we do in the ready phase is that's where we go through this. So let me break it down for you folks, okay? Most people come to us and they're passive agents, right? When I say passive, it's not a bad thing, but it's oftentimes the recipe that's given by the powers that be. So what does a passive agent look like? They farm their sphere of influence, and that's okay. They go out and do some networking and they get their name out there, and that's okay. But it's not getting them the money that they want. It's not getting them the predictability that they want. Guys, type a 1 in the chat if that's you, right? Like if you might not be making, you know you're capable of a bit more, right? But just haven't kind of cracked the code on how to do that just yet. Okay, I see Katya's there. Yep, Jay's with me. Okay, Yep, Jason. Okay, now we're talking. All right, guys. So that's what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about how to go from being overlooking potential, okay, and in the first step here to being able to identify. Darn it, things keep doing again. To be able to recognize opportunity, from not seeing leads to knowing where to go for that leads, okay, for those leads. So the first step from going from passive agent to listing agent which is what you see all the way at the top here, okay? The first step is you have to identify opportunities, right? And the way we identify opportunities, folks, it's not by just drawing a polygon and getting to know every single business owner or building owner in that polygon. Guys, that's pre-internet era stuff. It doesn't work today. I can't tell you how many people I have conversations with, excuse me, and what they wind up doing is they wind up farming. They do a ton of research, and at the end of the day, they don't get any business. They don't get any listings out of it. Okay, I've dealt with many people that make 40, 50 dials a day and take 1 listing in a year. Guys, we're talking about taking 2 listings a month, you know, which comes out to 24 a year. Type 24 in the chat if you guys want to learn the formula to take 24 listings a month. Okay, I'm about to lay it out for you. Okay, Tim's with me. Linda's with me. Sweet. Okay. So what we come from, folks, is first you need to identify who you're going to go after. Okay. So you go from overlooking potential and you filter the people down, which means instead of just going after everybody in this polygon, let's think of it like you're a doctor and you're trying to help sick people. You could walk up and down Main Street and say, are you sick? Are you sick? Are you sick? Or you could just as well say, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to sit outside the emergency room of the hospital and I'm going to wait for ambulances to come in. And when they're pulling someone out on a stretcher, you go up to them and say, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am, are you sick? Right? Do you guys see the difference in the power? Right? Type an exclamation point if you see the difference between talking to 500 people versus being able to go up and find someone who you have what we call reason to believe they are willing to transact. You see the power in that, guys? Okay. Very, very important. Now, next up is research, okay? You need to be able to go and research people. What does that mean? Darn it. It means to go from random searching, okay, to targeted prospecting, okay? By understanding, you know, how to get someone on their cell phone numbers, right? Guys, type the word gatekeeper in the chat if you guys have ever, you know, like hit a dead end at a gatekeeper and they say, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'll give Mr. Smith your call, like, and you never hear back from Mr. Smith. You guys with me? Okay. So the point is you go from random searching. Okay. Linda's with me. Tim's with me. Okay. Mike's with me. You get to targeted prospecting. And when you are targeted prospecting, you are not reaching out to somebody at whatever number there is on Google, folks. What you're doing is you're reaching out to people, what the kids say, hit them on the hip, right? You're calling them on their cell phone, right? You see the power of that? Make sense, guys? Okay. The next step and the third and final step in ready, okay, is calling them. Okay. Again, we're not calling people on their landlines. We're not calling the number that's on Google or whatever. We're calling them on their cell phone. But most people are clueless as to what to say. I know because I was at one point in my career. I didn't know what to say in order to be able to have a conversation and have that person be willing to have a meeting with me. Okay. We take you from clueless caller to meeting maker. Guys, type in meeting maker if you guys want to, in the next 7 days, learn how to book listing meetings like over and over and over again. All right. Who wants it? All right. That's what we're talking about, folks. Okay. So that makes sense for everybody so far? We go from ready. Next step is aim. Okay. So now we've identified, we've researched, we've called the people. They have agreed to a meeting with us. The next step from there is, oh, shoot, what do I do? What do I say? What information do I bring? So most people are very disorganized, right? So we take you from unorganized to systematic. Okay. From unorganized to you know exactly what you need to bring to the meeting. You know exactly what you need to send to them in advance so that you put your best foot forward. You what we call pre-sell them or pre-suade them on the way to the meeting. Okay. So that by the time you get there, it is yours to win. They already know who's coming to dinner, so to speak. Y'all with me? Okay. Next up is valuation. And folks, if you learned nothing else the rest of your career, but how to value properties properly, this is bar none the most important skill you can have in commercial. You guys hear me talk about this all the time, but I want it to sink in for you. And I want you to be able to take this metaphor and explain it to sellers. It goes like this. Mr. Smith, if I gave you a $20 bill and I asked you to take it to the 7-Eleven and go and get me 20 singles, do you think you could? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yeah, I think that'd be pretty easy. Okay, cool. Now, Mr. Smith, by the same token, if I gave you the same $20 bill and I sent you to the 7-Eleven and I asked you to bring me back 19 singles, do you think you could? Guys, type 19 in the chat. If I gave you a $20 bill and if you think that you could bring me back 19 singles, is that too much to ask, right? You better believe it. You know why? Because one of those singles is going in your pocket. Okay, perfect, cool. Dembe, Tim, Linda, Jimmy, you're all on board with me. Okay, now, folks, what if I gave you that same $20 bill and I asked you to bring me back 23 singles? How long would I be waiting? Would I be waiting an eternity? Yeah, probably, and that's what happens when brokers improperly price properties is like, it's only overpriced by a little bit. And they like to think that, well, if someone's really interested, they're just going to make an offer. It's not the way it works, folks. Studies have shown, the numbers, all prove that you need to be within a certain range of what we call your strike price. If you're not within that range, you're not going to get any attention on the listing. Okay. It's uncanny when you get a price reduction within that strike range, right? And we have rules of thumb that we teach our students on kind of what that looks like. It's uncanny how you get it into the right strike range and boom, you start getting offers. You start getting multiple offers if you get it close enough to the strike price. Okay. So we take you in step 5 from, I'm going to take a good guess, to we have precise pricing. Okay. Does that make sense, folks? We get you $20 for that $20 bill. We get you, Jason's with me, right? $19 for that $20 bill. Guys, just remember this, folks, okay? Whenever you have a seller and they're worried about leaving money on the table and like pricing it too aggressively, this is how you explain it, Mr. Seller. Just know you can never price a property too aggressively. Why? Because what happens, guys, if you lower the price on something and there's a large audience, you have it out in front of the entire internet, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to have multiple buyers. And guess what? They're going to bid that price up. So you can never leave money on the table. Why? Because if you put it out there at a low enough price, you're going to have multiple people interested. Does that make sense? Type a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, guys. You with me? Jimmy, Mark, Jason? Yeah? Cool. And that's what we're talking about, folks. If we can get the property valued properly, oh man, watch out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me tell you about someone that one of my students, Nick from Orlando, he got a listing for an industrial property. He put it on the market and within like 9 or 10 days had an offer $25,000 over the ask price. Why? Because he priced it right. Someone came in, saw the value and bidded it up. Does that make sense, guys? Right? Type 25K if you'd like to be able to price properties properly so that you get offers above the ask price. Y'all with me, guys? Make sense? Heck yeah. That's what we're talking about. And that's what we do in step number 5. Okay. So now we've reached out, we've got the meeting booked, we sent them the proper information beforehand. We've gone through the valuation. Now is when the show begins, right? We go from what we call a friendly chat to a proper presentation. Here's what I mean. A lot of people now, guys, now be honest. It's okay. This is the circle of trust here. Okay. The chat is your circle of trust. How many of you, okay, type a 1 in the chat, don't want to feel scripted, want to have an organic conversation, don't want to sound like a corny broker, right? Okay. Just remember, folks, the only conversations that sound bad and sound canned and sound corny are people who don't know how to deliver scripts. Okay. Everybody do me a favor real quick. Type your favorite movie in the chat right now. Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Is it whatever? Is it like Jaws? Okay, cool. We got Jaws. We got Weird Science. Yes. Lisa. Yes. Okay. Who else? What do we got? Weird Science. That's an underrated classic from the 80s. No, sorry, Siri. Not talking to you. Yeah. Quit Man. Love it. Okay, folks, remember, okay, you're going to need a bigger boat, right? That was a line delivered from Jaws, right? Guess what, though? At one point, it was words on a page. But the reason why that shark scared the heck out of us is because it was performed well, right? When you think about every song that has ever moved you, every movie that has ever moved you, any play, right? Gladiator, there you go. Are you not entertained? Right? That's what we're talking about. Guys, Russell Crowe read those words off the script, but he performed them. Okay. So when we get to the pitch, just remember, okay, I want everybody to write this down because it's going to be the best quote of the day right here. Okay. Remember, sales is a Broadway show put on by a psychiatrist. Okay. The people that sound don't know how to perform. Any of you that have ever seen live music, anything you've ever seen a Broadway play, any of you that ever seen any of these, like Grammy Award winning artists or, Emmy Award winning actors and actresses, right? They all perform words on a page, but sometimes it can bring you to tears. Why? Because of their delivery. And that's the difference. So we do not just have a friendly organic chat. If you want to just give away that listing, go ahead and have a friendly organic chat. The way we structure our conversations are, you have to know the right questions to ask and in what order to reveal motivations. Okay. Because remember, price motivated is not motivated. Write that one down. Price motivated is not motivated. Someone says, oh yeah, sure. Just bring me 2 million and I'll sell it. I want to know, are they tired of being a landlord? Is their wife, heaven forbid, wife sick? Is their partner tired of owning this? Are they don't like managing the property? Whatever. We need a concrete answer to why they want to sell, because price motivated is not motivated. Remember that. Okay. You need to know the questions to ask to reveal motivation. You need to know the statements to make so that they know that you know what you're talking about. And then finally, you need to know the data to bring to persuade them not only at your price, but also at your term that you need. Okay. Make sense so far? Type a 1 in the chat if you guys are with me. All right. No more friendly chats. If you want to be average, cool, do that. You guys want to be 1% earners? Okay. This is what you do because nobody else does this stuff. Nobody else practices this stuff in the mirror. Okay. The reason why Russell Crowe is a, what is it? Emmy, what's that one? Oscar winning actor, right? Because I guarantee you that guy put in the work, that guy put in the hours to perfect his craft. This is no different, folks. It's like that 10,000 hour rule. You got to get your game up. Okay. Next up, the next phase as we move from ready to aim is finally acquire. Okay. And acquire goes like this. This is when we've got the listing. We won it at the presentation. Now we got to get it from being a listing to being dollars in your pocket. Okay. Type of hashtag $sign if you guys want to learn how to turn listings into dollar signs, because it doesn't happen automatically, guys. It might happen automatically on the residential side because most residential agents, they put something on there and there's like a 90+% chance it's going to sell. Doesn't happen in commercial, guys. You have to know how to market it. Okay. And you go from hoping and praying with your marketing to repeated wins. We show you what resources you need to build to be able to get repeatable business. Because guess what? In commercial, folks, there's a whole lot of people that want repeat business. Repeat business means that they're buying properties that are going to cash flow. There's a lot of investors out there that want more and more and more of the same property. Okay. The next step along the way is once you get it marketed properly, what happens if it's overpriced? What happens if the market isn't responding to it, even though you put it through the proper marketing process? What does that look like? We take you from being overpriced to under contract. Guys, my two favorite words in the world, under contract. Type that in the chat, guys, if you're with me, right? So there is absolutely an art to the conversations. There's absolutely an art to the way you frame things. And if you guys know what framing is, it's kind of like showing someone a different perspective, what's called a reframe. Showing someone, in the conversations that you have with sellers are very, very important, okay? And then a lot of people think that they cross the finish line just when they get the property under contract. Well, guess what, folks? That is just the beginning. You got a whole other bunch of steps. Can anybody tell me what the 3 steps are? Typically, once you get a property under contract, right? You got your physical inspection, you got your environmental due diligence, right? Maybe you have financial, maybe you have an appraisal, okay? There's a lot of things that can go wrong there. There can be other types of inspections, right? There might be, you might have a dirty phase 1 and you have to do a phase 2. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. And that's what we help our students see, is like where to go to avoid the landmines. Nobody likes to tap dance on landmines. We show you where to go to avoid those, okay? Type landmine if you like to avoid the landmines, because guess what, guys? The reason why we get paid so much in this business is because there's you need a high level of skill to pull it off. And oftentimes the transactions are large, which means if you step on a landmine, you might not be able to, the deal could blow up in your face and you might not be able to put it back on track. Okay. So absolutely. Tim said, no landmines. Absolutely, Tim. That's what we're talking about, folks. So unless you know where the landmines are, how can you avoid them? Okay. Very, very important. So we take you from wait and see what happens. Hopa, guys, write this down. Hope is not a business plan. Okay. Wait and see is not a business plan. Okay. So we take you from, let's see what happens if it gets across the finish line. We start with, is this person even worthy of taking this property and putting it under contract? If so, how do they present their details? We get it. And we have conversations built around, what do you say to somebody so that they know that, so that they put their best foot forward from the beginning instead of waiting after 3 rounds of negotiation, right? We show you the conversations to have, all right? And then finally, guys, from wait and see to commission checks. That's why we're here. That's why you guys are tuning in, because you guys want more commission checks. Guys, type commission checks in the chat if you want more next year. That's what we're talking about, folks. This is a process that's repeatable from the top to the bottom over and over and over again. Are you going to sell 100% of the properties that you list? Absolutely not. But you know what you will have? You'll have the absolute best probability chance of being able to do that. Type in probability. Guys, this game, and this is another one, okay? Real estate brokerage is a series of more likelies, okay? Write that down. Brokerage is a series of more likelies, right? What's more likely, this or this, this or this, this or this? The things that we show you, they might give you a 2, 3, 5% advantage. And some people might say, oh, what's 2 or 3 or 5%? Yeah, compound that over 9 steps. And guess what? You have a major advantage by the time you get to, and when you learn how to do everything right and you line it all up. How many of you guys, type a 1 in the chat? In fact, type unfair if you'd like to have an unfair advantage. Okay. Folks, when you know where to go, when you know what to say, when you know what to send, when you know how to value, when you know how to pitch a listing, when you know how to market it, how to manage a listing, and then how to manage a transaction, do you think that puts you, if you put all those steps together, do you think that puts you in an unfair advantage position? That's what we're talking about. We go from being accidental to on purpose. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Heck yeah. All right, cool. So thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next Monday at 5:30 Eastern, and we're going to be digging deep into more commercial real estate concepts. Thanks so much for being here, y'all. I'll catch you later. See ya.